Petra Toyin Haynes has loved art from the time she was a toddler and never doubted that this would be her career choice. A painter, sculptor, jewelry maker, and curator, she immerses herself in art as a way of life. But she'll be the first to tell you the decision to be a full-time artist in Barbados is a challenging one to defend.
It's not looked at as something that is serious, you know? People try to discourage you or think that you're stupid. They just brush it off. They don't see it as important. I have some family members from my mother's side that would say, why don't I get a real job? And it's like, what do you mean by a real job? I'm working. I don't want to be confined, or I didn't want to be confined to a 9-to-5 kind of setting.
She actually tried the 9-to-5 setting for a while, first as a teacher and then as an art gallery attendant.
I felt uncomfortable, felt like confined and restricted, and inevitably I became depressed. So I actually left last year at the same time. I was in Fort Lauderdale with my sister, she lives there, and I stayed almost 5 months. And I realized that isn't where you go that will make you not depressed. It is how you feel inside and what you can do where you're at. So that experience in Florida, I basically had to start from scratch. No one really knew me. I had to build a reputation. I did art shows, jewelry shows, flea markets, but it wasn't what I expected it to be. I had to build from scratch to get a reputation out there. I'm also a face painter. I did some face painting out there. But here, people know me. They know me as a face painter, they know me as an artist. So here, I didn't have to build that much building. I didn't have to do here. So I said, okay, let me go back and see. With that driving determination in Florida, I could put it here and continue building.
And build she did. The fruit of her labor went on show last December at her first solo exhibition, Embryonic Mushroom, at the Arrowbarra Center for Creative Imagination.
I really did it for myself because I realized that people didn't take me seriously. So in order for that to happen, I have to be serious about myself and about my work. I wanted to see my creation all in one space. But this work spans 8 years, and I want to see my growth as an artist, how I'm thinking, where I want to go, what messages I can send out to people, what they can learn from the messages are within my work. And just tell my story through art and not writing about it. That's why we are artists and not authors, because it's like a story, really.
The exhibition's genesis was in the classroom at the Barbados Community College, where she pursued her Bachelor of Fine Arts degree.
My final year in college, I was always drawn to sculpture, more so than the two-dimensional paintings, because I like how I am involved in the three-dimensional form, more hands-on, more in it, per se. And at one point, I didn't know what to do for portfolio, and I was struggling with that, and time was running out. So the tutor, Stanley Graves at the time, he asked me, what is it I like doing? And I told him I like collecting dolls. Wherever I go, I have to have a doll. And he said, so why not do dolls? I was like, do dolls? So then I was thinking of a medium. Should I use cloth? Should I use, you know? So I came across paper mache and I started sketching out what kind of dolls, what kind of lives they will have, the space they're going to be in, what they're going to look like. Are they going to have hands? Are they going to have eyes? Are they going to have feet? So the green one, Zim, is my first doll that I did. And then I did 9 others after that.
She called them Artep dolls, her name spelt backwards.
And then I told him I wanted to add color. And he's like, color? Color in sculpture? I was like, yeah, why not? So I started painting them green and blues, and I made accessories for them. They're detachable. Then his belly button can come out, could detach, and the thing for his hair. So I created a line of dolls that people can interact with. I know that in art, especially in the gallery, they say do not touch, but I wanted people to have like interaction with them, to be involved in what I was creating.
Since her school days, she has been exploring other materials such as wrought iron and fiberglass, and has a growing interest in outdoor sculpture.
I was in a space suit when I was doing this one, the fiberglass. That's the first time I've done it. The big one right here. And had to get mask and everything. I took on the challenge. Because I wanted to go towards outdoor sculpture now. So in order to do that, I have to find a medium that would sustain the weather and stuff. So I thought fiberglass would be the next best step. From the next best transition from the papier-mâché and the rock and the stone into fiberglass, and then eventually a more hardcore metal like bronze or something like that. So I like to go outdoors. I like nature. So if I could see an object outdoors in a natural, my work is really surreal, bordering on abstract. And I like to see that diversity, that otherness in a landscape. That's what I was trying to do in Beyond Recall, this painting right here. Otherness in a natural landscape. I don't know. I haven't found why I want to do that. I'm still growing and searching. I guess because that's how I feel, especially in a Caribbean setting, because it's a big Eurocentric world, and trying to find myself as an Afro-Caribbean female and an artist, finding means of survival, in that space. So I feel alien sometimes.
Her African masks are very popular with art lovers.
What helped influence me to do mask making now was when Sonia Williams, she's the theater tutor here, she was doing a piece called Odalis Choice by Camille Brathwaite, and she wanted masks done for her performers. And I didn't know at the time how I'm gonna get this done. So I decided to go back to my earlier teachings from Alexandra with using plaster Paris, and I molded it on the actor's face and added fiber. Whatever she told me, I put on a mask, and it just grew, and then I just started doing them to put on walls and stuff like that. But initially, they were character masks for theatrical production. That's how it started.
And these provocative pregnant belly sculptures also evolved from some of her earlier work.
It's only recently that I started to look at pregnant women. I was like, oh, they look like my sculptures. So I decided to use the same application as the mask and to mold the body. And that's how it came about. And I do them for pregnant women. They like them. I paint on pregnant bellies as well, like at baby showers and stuff like that. So then I took it a step further by actually molding the actual body and it's a keepsake for expected mothers. And a work of art I could put in their house or in the nursery in their house or whatever.
Body art is in fact an important niche market for her. Her face painting skills are in demand.
I love interacting with children. I like creating designs on their faces. Actually, the first form of artistic expression was body painting in art history. So it's an old tradition that I'm continuing, really, and it's also my bread and butter. It's a lot of hard work, but I enjoy doing it. I love it. I just love seeing my work on people. And another thing that I want to get into is tattooing. To have your work on someone's body permanently is exciting.
Where does her inspiration come from?
The hardest thing is the idea. Once I have that down on paper, the next thing is to find a medium that will execute this idea. How best can I execute this idea? So my idea could be like 5 years. The hardest thing is the idea. But once I have the idea, actually making it is no problem. Most of these things here are not the original sketch or the original idea. It just evolved into that. It just so happened. If I'm watching TV and I get an idea, I immediately write it down. So a lot of things inspire me. If I'm watching TV, I'm listening to radio or have a conversation with someone, or if I'm online looking at something, I don't go out and seek an idea or get an inspiration. It just comes.
Petra's joy as an artist comes from exploring new ideas, experimenting with different materials, and honing her skills.
I don't like to create with, in the back of my mind, okay, how much is this going to sell for? I think it hinders my creativity, thinking about the money. When I create, I don't want to be thinking about the money. I just want to create. I figure the money will come.
And what's next for this professional artist?
Continue to grow, continue to build on my ideas, the materials that I use. I want to get into film, animation, and just tell stories, not only through animation, but life stories. I'm very interested in people and farms. So that's where I want to go next.
She has this advice for other young people with a love for art, but who are struggling to find a place for it in their lives.
If they could find some small time, like 2-3 hours a day, to be creative, I think it would help, even if they don't want to do it full time. Like, just take like a weekend to express any art form. It doesn't have to be visual arts. It could be poetry, dance, anything that would help them keep them sane and help them not to be depressed about, you know, their life. Because most people they don't want to do what they do, but they do it anyway, I guess because for money or for family reputation, whatever, I don't know. But if they could find some small way of doing what they really want to do to express themselves, do it. Do it. And if it takes over their regular job, well, so much the better.
Petra Toyin Haynes, a talented artist, entrepreneur, and a true Bajan.